Hello again, welcome to The Boundary Line, another brand new episode ahead of a crunch Betfred Championship clash at home at Boundary Park. This coming Sunday, we need you with us at Boundary Park against London Broncos in the Super League last year, and they're up against us this weekend. We've got a debrief in a moment with the guys after that Challenge Cup exit at Hull KR. A huge night that was on Friday night. Plus we've been on the road this week. We'll meet our new commercial boss in just a moment and hear from both Bill Quinn and Mike Ford at the launch of a very exciting new project, a community and sports hub at SportsTown, a multi-million-pound regeneration based out of Boundary Park. That's coming up in a moment. We'll start though with Danny Craven and Riley Dean, who were both in the thick of the action on Friday night at Sewell Group New Craven Park as we bowed out of the Challenge Cup against the best side around at the moment. If you look at the Betfred Super League table, Hull KR setting the pace, and we were really up against it, weren't we, guys? But speaking to Sean Long afterwards, there were a lot of positives, Danny, in that performance. The scoreline wasn't great to look at, could have been a lot worse, but for long periods of that game, we were in it against the guys setting the pace in the league above. Yeah,
I think, like you said there, the scoreline obviously doesn't look great when you look at the stats and stuff, but I don't think it was really a fair reflection of the game. We had opportunities to score points. We had a try disallowed, and it just seemed that every time we got in the good ball that we couldn't get over the line, but every time they were in good ball they seemed to get over and score. So that's obviously the difference between the top end of Super League and where we are at the minute, and obviously where we're striving to be. But I thought it was a really good hit out for us.
And I guess, Riley, in time that will have proved a really good learning curve, a really good kind of education session as to where we are and where we need to get to.
Yeah, 100%. Like DC just said, we had opportunities, and the difference was they was clinical and they executed their opportunities really, really well and put us in some difficult spots and didn't get bored of it. So it's definitely something we can look to implement into our game even further.
How did you enjoy playing fullback? I had a feeling he might be fullback and it was you. How did that end up?
I think Longy started mind games on Thursday when he didn't tell me, and then just put it up on screen. But no, I enjoyed it. It sort of gave me a bit of a freer role and let me roam around pitch a bit, just getting called from DC and then getting called from Drinker to swing. So
how different is it? You both played across the two positions. What do you have to adapt? Obviously, you're going to be under the high ball. I mean, you were peppered, weren't you? I think you were taken out in the air on the first one.
That was by me.
I called it in commentary. So why is he not given that? Because it was by you.
Yeah, it was me. Yeah. I was trying to escort him off the ball and got a push in me back. I think it was off Tyrone May, but yeah, I went clattered into him, and yeah, it was me.
Yeah. I didn't know at the time, so I was spraying ref a bit, but apologies.
Yeah.
It hurt as well, to be fair.
I was going to say, I bet you both came off the field I bet you all did, feeling like you'd been in a game. 80 minutes again. Well, it was their first choice pack. They only rested a couple, I think 1 to 7.
Yeah.
I bet you felt for a day or two like, yeah, we had a game. We had a right game.
Yeah. To be fair, you feel like that after any game, but yeah, that's the perks of rugby league. You get another week in between to sort of rest up and then do it all again. We're a bit mad doing it, but that's why we love the sport.
We'll build up to the London game in just a moment, but just one more on that experience at Hull KR. Did it kind of give you, I know you've got hunger anyway, but give you that incentive, kind of whet your appetite a bit, saying, right, we all as individuals, we want to be at this level, as a club on and off the pitch, we want to be at this level. Right, when are we going to have this again? Because obviously we're back to the Championship now, the bread and butter. That's the Super League opponent's gone until next year, but it must have made you think, yeah, I want that as soon as possible.
Yeah, 100%. It's the occasion, like the big trip. It's going to that ground. It's a pretty hostile place up there, and they don't mince the words, as you like to say. But yeah, it's the occasions like that, and playing against the calibre of players. There's internationals all over the world from them, so I really enjoyed it. It was a good challenge.
And it was great to see so many of you guys as well travelling and making your voices heard. We hope to see you at Boundary Park on Sunday. More from the guys in a moment as we build up to that Championship game against London. But to matters elsewhere, and the big news this week was the launch of a new multi-million-pound SportsTown project based out of Boundary Park. Some real excitement with all the different sports and the community and Oldham Council coming together to launch this week. And I went along to catch up with our chairman and managing director, Bill Quinn and Mike Ford. Bill, it's been a very exciting morning here at the launch of SportsTown. You've spoken very passionately Bill, this is the culmination of a lot of hard work today from a lot of different people.
Oh yeah, I mean we've had many meetings, myself and Mike, with the council, with Oldham Athletic, and discussions, and yeah, I think this is the start of it now. This is now come out to the public, and you know what SportsTown's going to be all about.
What really struck me, Mike, was how, especially Aruj and the council, spoke so passionately about everyone involved, and particularly about Oldham Rugby, and how without Oldham Rugby none of this might be happening, which really struck me.
Yeah, I think when we took over, our purpose were the kids anyway. More of kids who are in our pathway playing rugby. Now it's merged to, you know, all the community, whether you're a boy or a girl, you know, you can play rugby if you're a girl, but if not, you don't play rugby at all, you can come down and watch. And now, as our relationship with Oldham Athletic has got stronger, and as you mentioned, the council, it's now got into this SportsTown, which is a fantastic concept of, you know, every child who, whether you play sport or not, you can come to this SportsTown and do education. You can do medical things, you know, with a facility that's going to be here in the future. And from our point of view, and Bill's one of the best negotiators I know, you know, we want to be at Boundary Park forever, and hopefully that's one of the things that will come of this.
And I guess that's the next question, Bill. When we put this news out announcing a £5 million investment kickstarting SportsTown, an ambitious £70 million sports education, health and wellbeing campus in Oldham, our fans' reaction was very positive, but clearly want to know directly as Oldham Rugby League fans, what does this mean for us? What does this mean for our team? What does this mean for our club? What does this mean for everyone associated? What are we getting out of this?
Well, if you think about it, for the last 28 years the club's been in the wilderness, and now we've made it relevant. We've worked very hard to make it relevant, and we'll carry on doing that. And this has been an accumulation of conversations, of just getting your brain going, working out what can we do, what can't we do. And ultimately, we don't just want to be on a lease. A lease is no good to us. We have now discussed that ourselves, Oldham Athletic and the council, we will be a third partner in a permanent base here at SportsTown. Now there's still some dotting of the I's and crossing of the T's, and we will carry on to do that, and you can bet that, you know, we'll work as hard as we can to make sure the outcome's good for Oldham Rugby. But as far as I'm concerned, and what's been agreed so far, is this will be the permanent base. Now I know that some of the fans have said, even when I was here last time, we played at Boundary Park, and we created a 10-year lease with Boundary Park. We've created a very good relationship with the owners and with everybody over here at Boundary Park. This next step, this launch of SportsTown, means that we will have a permanent base for generations to come, which will now help us, myself and Mike, to really launch the club, for the kids, for everything that we do. Having this base here will mean that we can launch everything. You know, and as Mike said, it's not just about coming down to play, it's coming down and to take part, it's coming down to watch and to just enjoy the facilities that's going to be here eventually.
And that element, Mike, of stability, moving forward and building the foundations and building for the future is so important when we talk, as we have been a lot at the moment, about building the fan base and winning back and re-engaging our fans, a lot of whom we've spoken to said, well, we still need a bit of convincing, because why would we just come back now when we've been so scarred by what's happened before? It might take a bit of time to win us back and rebuild that trust. Something like this could go a long way to doing that, to rebuilding that trust and reconnecting with the fans, which is what we're all trying to do.
Yeah, I think what the position the club's in now, I think, just to, you know, pick up on what Bill was saying there, we're at the table now. We're getting to be at these tables when these big negotiations are being involved with the council. Before, the last 25 years, you know, no one even thought about Oldham Rugby really. And now we're getting to these sort of tables, not just here, you know, but on the Rugby League Council as well. There's things going on there with the chairman going from the Rugby Football League, and we want to be, and we are. We're at talks to the table. I won't say we're a big player, but certainly we're on the right lines, and in that, of course, is what we do on the field and our fans, and one of the short-term pluses for SportsTown is there's going to be a 4G pitch there, which is going to be a shock-absorbed surface so that they can play rugby league on it. So we'll probably have 2 facilities then where we could.
So we'll have Melrose as a training base and potentially here too.
Yeah, we want our own shop base AstroTurf at Melrose as well, and eventually. But we'll have control of that along with Oldham Athletic, where we can, you know, we've struggled, haven't we, in the winter for floodlights and for when it gets freezing. Andy Ritchie there. You know, when it gets wet, we'll have that facility there as well. So it's exciting. We a lot of things. I know we can't really wait to tell you what's going on at Melrose in the future, but there's a lot of things that is happening with the club, which is very, very positive.
We'll wrap up because I think John Chadwick wants to get off. He's lurking just behind us.
Yeah, I think it's time for his medicine.
But just on a positive note, and it's all positive and it's all exciting. And Mike mentioning about being invited to the tables, and we're back amongst these conversations. We were back on the big stage on Friday night. You were there. It was a great occasion. Okay, the result didn't go our way, but you know the scoreboard actually could have been a lot tighter than I think that it suggested. But for the bounce of a ball, a forward pass here or there, how good an experience was that for everyone to be back playing the best team at the moment in Super League, Bill? Which is of course where we all want to be.
I thought it was fantastic, and I thought the lads did absolutely brilliant. You know, put the score to one side. At the end of the day, there was a few individual errors which you might have got away with in the Championship, but you know, with the likes of OKR, they're just going to be clinical and they're going to make you pay, and they did. But the overall sort of situation of the performance, I thought was very positive, very good. And then we went there as well. I certainly was having a look at the stadium, the setup. We had talks with the owners and the chief exec there, you know, about the crowds and how they've managed to get them back. And there's some, you know, I picked up a few really interesting things. But, you know, we will, you know, as Oldham, where we've come from to where we are now has just been mind-boggling. But we will keep going, and I keep saying this, if we get the backing of the town and the backing of the people of Oldham, and I said this in an interview earlier on, you know, everybody that comes and supports Oldham and spends £1, that pound goes back in to the good of Oldham, the good of this rugby league football club, and for just making the fans experience that bit better, just getting the pathways going, getting the women's team going. Everything that we're doing is for the good of the club. And that's why we need the backing of everyone, and that's why we will make Oldham relevant again.
4 or 5 years later, George, 4 or 5 years ago, speaking to the chief exec, Paul Lakin, they were getting crowds OKR of 4,500. Now, 5, 6 years later, they've got membership of 9,400. So that's a club that's steeped in history, but we're no different. In fact, John Chadwick's gone. I bet you our club's more historic than OKR's at the moment in what we've achieved since 1895. So it's there for us. But we need to do it together.
Inspiring stuff. What a great kickstart to the week. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Yeah, really exciting project to start with. Great to see the Roughyeds heavily involved. Now, the other big news from the club this week has seen the appointment of a new commercial boss here at Oldham. David Bottomley is with us. He's our new head of operations and commercial, and I've been along to meet him. David, welcome to Oldham. How are you feeling about this opportunity?
Very excited, yeah, very much so. I was actually born in Oldham quite a long time ago, but very excited by this opportunity with the rugby league club, the Roughyeds.
I was going to ask you about your affinity to this region, so there's clearly a bit of passion there already.
Yeah, there is. I spent a number of years, I was born in Oldham, as I've just said. I spent a long time in my life living in the south of England, where rugby union was the preferred game. And I used to get the mickey taken out of me being a northern, and I had to explain about rugby league and why it was the better sport over rugby union. That was in the days when rugby union wasn't professionally as it is today. But yeah, so very excited by what is an exciting sport, played primarily in the north of England, but has got interest all over the world now, hasn't it?
It is, and hopefully you've really enjoyed what you've seen from this Oldham team before you've arrived here as well.
Yeah, I've been to a number of matches and been very impressed with you. The one thing you've got to respect in rugby league is the respect that players give the officials more than anything else, and the way it's played. It's a real family product for me, the way the sport is. Lots of families I saw at both games enjoying the experience, enjoying the end of the game with players and mingling with players and coaches and all those things. And I think it's just a very different game, isn't it, to football. I'm not comparing it, but I think as a family product, rugby league is just a really exciting sport for families to get involved in.
You have a background in football, so in terms of your experience, of which you've got heaps, give us an idea of professionally what you're bringing with you into this club.
Well, in terms, hopefully, I'm bringing a background of commercial organisation. I've worked in both professional football and I've worked in other industries in my career, so I've got a background of being able to run things operationally, and I hope commercially I've also got a background of knowing how to not only attract sponsors but give sponsors something back and do something to raise money for the club, because the ambition is very clear, isn't it, that this club wants to be in the Super League, and you only get there by having both the off the field and the on the field product working together in harmony. And that's what I intend to do in my role as head of operations in commercial, is getting the backroom side of the club working professionally and smarter.
And you're just starting on this journey and on this role, so any idea of what your aims and ambitions may be at this point?
To get network as quickly as possible with a lot of people in Oldham, look after our current sponsors but bring new people in, and very importantly help the foundation, because I believe that the foundation and the rugby club should work side in side, because sometimes sponsors start off very small working with the foundation that grow into very big sponsors for the club. So to me, the foundation is as equally important in my role as the rugby club is.
And I guess one thing you would say on the commercial front is that there hasn't been a better time, if ever, or for a long time, to align with Oldham Rugby League as there is right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the great thing about this club is the structure that Bill and Mike have put in place in terms of its stability financially, and the way that they've actually, the on the field product is brilliant, isn't it? You're winning League One last year was fantastic achievement, and they want to progress from that. So yeah, there's never been a better time to get involved, and I don't think there's actually a finer game to get involved in than rugby league.
So plenty to look forward to on and off the pitch. Let's finish up with matters back on the pitch, and we're going to welcome London guys this Sunday. The game's coming thick and fast. I was just speaking actually to Sean Long in his office about this, and the feeling was, without giving anything away from Longy, that they're a far better side than some of their results have been, Danny, so far. This is a side who were in Super League a few months ago.
Yeah, I think obviously the last couple of weeks they've recruited quite a few lads in. You know, they brought Liam Tyndall in, who's an experienced Super League winger with aspirations to go back to Super League, so he's got a point to prove. They've got a couple of good Aussie halves in there, and they've brought a few lads in from Wigan. So we're under no illusions that it's going to be a big challenge for us. They've already had a good result at Featherstone away, which is no mean feat, and yeah, we're going to have to be on our game to get the result this week.
It's a big few days, isn't it, building up to that game? You're going to have to be on it, because if you're not, London will come and you know what they can do, as DC says.
Oh, 100%. Like as you know, we went up to Barrow 2 weeks, yeah, and I don't think we've put our best foot forward, definitely not, and we got turned over, and that can happen to any team in this league. So we need to be switched on from start and play a proper game like we should be. What's
the mental side of this now, DC? Because I thought, like you, there were quite a few positives from that trip across the M62 on Friday against Hull KR, a team that no one would have given Oldham much of a chance of turning over on the night. But if you look at it as it has been the last couple of weeks, that's back-to-back defeats now. That's something that we didn't, as a club, have to deal with at all last year. Now we do, and we've got to turn it around pretty quick against an opponent we keep saying is a very dangerous one. So how does that influence your preparations, or are you able to block that out? The results don't really matter, it's all on our prep for this one.
Yeah, I don't think it changes our prepping anyway, really. It's obviously, we had a disappointing result against Barrow, which we probably should have won, but going to Hull KR, we went and just took the shackles off and enjoyed a game of rugby and see where it took us. And obviously the result didn't go our way, but like you said before, we're back to our bread and butter this week, and we do need to get back on the horse, because no disrespect to League One last year, but there wasn't many games that were that challenging for us. So every game in the Championship's a challenge, and if you don't turn up, you're going to get beat. And we've got to be 100% focused and ready for London on Sunday, because it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, we can't wait. We hope to see you there as well. A final word on the match day experience at Boundary Park, something you've both been enjoying with friends and family coming along as a player on the pitch. How much you enjoying the support you're getting and everything around it on a match day, Riley?
Yeah, it's mint. The fans are class, to be fair, and even when we're playing Batley and we weren't playing the best, we had a chance to win it in the last few minutes and they're up off the seats and cheering Jamar down there. And it does help a lot. We can hear it, and it's something that we like and that we thrive off.
Yeah, you buzz off it, don't you? Hearing that wall of noise from the Joe Royal stand. And I know you especially enjoy it when you're not picked and you have to come into the fans bar with me beforehand.
Yeah, I'm always fuming when I'm not picked, as you know, George. But yeah, no, I've got to give credit to the Oldham fans. They're a loyal bunch and they follow us all over the place. Even last year they were following us to Cornwall and those long trips. So hopefully they can get down to Boundary Park on Sunday and cheer the boys on to a good win.
Thanks for popping out to see me. I know your video review starting in a moment, so I'll let you know, but it's really appreciated. Thank you for watching. Please, if you've not been so far this year, I know it's been cold, I know it's been miserable, it's been windy, it's been rainy, but look at it.
Imagine how we feel.
If they can do it, we can all do it. We're really keen to grow Boundary Park, and you're all involved as part of the project. It's not just about these guys producing expansive, stylish rugby league and entertaining you. It's about you guys getting involved with all of us on this journey. So if you're free Sunday, please come down, get yourself into bar 1895 before the game, where I'll be hosting in there with some of the first teamers not involved, and then the product on the pitch hopefully will be there to entertain you as well. But keep supporting us, and we're looking forward to what's ahead in the coming weeks and months, starting next with the visit of London Broncos. Get your tickets online and we'll see you at Boundary Park this Sunday.